Pancake and Power Slam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam Show. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam Show. Turn it up.
What's up, everybody? This is Dr. Chris Featherstone. I'm here for episode 617 of the Pancakes and Powerslams Show. Man, it's good to be here. I cannot explain to you how much it's good to be in this spot right here. If I tell you how long of a day I've had, and it's good to hang out. I'm almost done. I've got one more stop, but this is third base, and it feels good. I'm looking. I turned over. I'm heading down to home plate. I got the after party afterwards, but this has been a typical Tuesday. Very, very long day. Back to back clients all day long. And had a meeting. So for 8 straight hours during my my work day as a therapist, it was just boom all day, boom. So that's typical for my life, and especially a Tuesday. And then just prepping for the Sports Kita show. We had an attorney on the show for Unscripted with Bill Adler and I. It was pretty fun. It was really good discussion. He's a notable New York attorney, and he gave us a lot of ins and outs when it came to Vince McMahon's allegations. And so go check that out. And then right after that, jumped right into PNP. So we're going to have some fun on PNP tonight. And then right after that, we're headed over to the after party where I'm going to end on a high notes. As always, taking your questions live, and I'm going to bring you all on the screen just like I do every week. And this week, we're going to do Royal Rumble winner trivia. All right. Royal Rumble winner trivia. So, of course, hashtag Ask Doc to get your question on the screen. We've got Zubair in the building. What's up, my man? Thank you very much. First time watching live on this channel after finding your personal channels. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, Zubair. We got the People's. We got the People's Wrestling Channel. Episode 617. Let's go. All right. So what we do here on PNP is I give you my insights on the topic at hand, and then I open it up to the comments section. So as far as the topic for today is it's Cody Rhodes. Who should he pick to be his opponent on the particular WrestleMania 40? So that's what I'm going to talk about today. Of course, what we saw. Of course, again, hashtag Ask Doc to get your comment on the screen. We'll open it up to the comment section. So Ask Doc and talk to people within the comment section. Look, for those who know in PNP, it's PG. We're respectful. We're a family here in PNP. We don't do that trolling and crazy comments. It's a whole vibe over here. So we're respectful. It's totally okay to disagree, but we are totally respectful toward each other, whether we agree or disagree. It's one big PNP family, which we have a ton of fun here. So it's this show is not like every other show, or not like other shows where there's trolls and people just saying stupid stuff. We disagree civilly here. We respect each other here. And that's what we do on PNP. That's the vibe that we bring over here on PNP. So with that being said, So when it comes to Cody Rhodes, here's the thing: with that segment actually was decent with Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, because I do think that does bring an interesting dynamic over to whether we are going to get a different and a change of a change of direction when it comes to the World Heavyweight Championship match. Now, I do think that here's my prediction with that. I do think that is planting seeds to a shift, because Punk's out. I think possibly on paper it would have been so what it seemed to be was Rock Roman, because there's reports that Rock Roman's still going to happen, and Cody, Seth, and Punk. Now, it could have been a few things that threw a wrench in there. So it could have been Seth and Cody, and they made the change, and Punk was out anyways. So that could have been the case. Or it could have been Cody Roman, and with Punk being out, they threw Cody and Seth, and Rock Roman could have been another time, and they could have moved up Rock Roman to WrestleMania 40. What it seems like is the case is that it seemed like it was supposed to be Seth Punk and Cody Roman, but it's hard to say, because what I think is the case is that with The Rock probably said, yes, let's do him and Roman for WrestleMania. And it seems like they still wanted Cody to have that spot, because it was probably like, we promised you a spot to have a main event, a prominent role, to finish your story. It seems like it could have been a wrench could have been thrown in regardless if Punk got hurt. So it seems like that's the case. Like, that's what I'm kind of willing to bet, actually, that because we're going to see Rock Roman anyways, and theoretically we were going to see Cody Roman too, which I didn't want to see anyways, it appears as if Punk was out of the equation anyways, because Punk definitely he definitely looked pretty rusty and rough in his Royal Rumble showing. And so I don't even know if Punk and Seth was even going to be a thing of anyways. Like, that's what seemed like it was going to be on paper, was going to be Cody versus Seth for the World Heavyweight. Well, Seth versus Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. It seemed like, yes, seeds were planted there. It seems as if that was just what everybody thought was going to happen. But I would venture to say that they still wanted that spot for Cody in some way. So if The Rock wasn't going to be, like, CM Punk could have possibly been slotted to be that person, but it seems as if Rock Roman is still on the table. And because it's still on the table, it seems as if Punk got kind of shifted over, and I'm not so sure that Punk being injured really changed a lot, because from what I'm thinking from a business standpoint, the marquee match is Rock Roman. So if Rock is able, if The Rock is available, he over Cody any day of the week from a marquee standpoint. However, night one, it seems as if Cody got moved over since The Rock is available. Now, if The Rock wasn't available, possibly Cody Roman and then Seth and Punk. But for weeks we were thinking, man, now since The Rock is available, now Cody's getting the shaft, and now he has to wait because The Rock is coming in, and Rock is definitely more of a marquee name than Cody Rhodes is. Man, now Cody Rhodes got to get shafted. But I think I'm more in the boat of, if anybody got the shaft, it probably was Punk who got the shaft because Rock is available. And to be honest with you, I think that that's a good call. I mean, I think that I think Punk should be moved over to the side and saved for later rather than Cody. That makes sense to me because Cody's been there, he's been there longer as far as just his return. He's done his dues. He came back last year. He was in all types of random feuds and, had a tag team championship run with Jey Uso. So he did a lot last year, and he showed that, he's the company guy. The whole year, the fans continued to chant for him. So he stayed on top as far as popularity is concerned. How they booked him, he definitely didn't stay on top, minus the Brock feud that was good. But other than the Brock feud, there wasn't really anything there. Although the Brock feud did last 4 months in 3 matches. But it did kind of drag on, and it really didn't help Cody much. It was a way to keep Cody relevant, but it didn't really move. It didn't really up his stock very much. It did a little, but not very much. But it did show though that Cody does have that main event, ability. I've said it very, very much. I've said it. I don't necessarily see Cody as like the guy, the face of WWE. I don't see it, especially with this. What do you want to talk about? Cutting the same type of babyface promo, sing along with Cody. I do think that that's going to have a smaller shelf life. But Cody's very creative and he's innovative, and he's the son of a plumber, baby. So he understands the ebbs and flows when it comes to that. What I think is really interesting, I'm going to sidebar here just a moment. What I think is very interesting about the Cody journey is, I was thinking about this. I was like, man, you know what? The WWE fans absolutely love Cody Rhodes. And he has the same theme song as AEW. He has the same entrance as the AEW minus the pyro. And what I think is really interesting about this is when Cody was in AEW, he was the same type of Cody Rhodes, and he was getting booed like crazy. He moves that over to WWE, and now he's the biggest babyface in the company. So that's interesting, because that, to me, that shows me one of maybe a few things. It shows me that either there's a large chunk of WWE fans who do not even follow AEW, nor have they followed AEW, which is interesting because theoretically you'd think that the same type of fans, or the same fans from AEW, watches WWE. But if the same fans watches WWE from AEW, wouldn't they boo Cody as a babyface still? But they're not doing that because Cody was a babyface in AEW and he was getting booed like crazy. So it goes to show to me that this doesn't really look good for AEW, because AEW had a bunch of hardcore fans that were and are very, like, they're the hardcore marks. Like, in a lot of cases, let's be honest here, it's a niche crowd. It's a very marquee, type of hardcore wrestling crowd. Less sports entertainment, more wrestling. So it does show to me that the fact that the fact that Cody's getting cheered the way that he is, and he was just getting booed in AEW just right before he came to AEW to WWE. To me, it just shows me that there's a big chunk of WWE fans who do not watch AEW. Otherwise, he would have the same reaction. So I found that very interesting, and that actually is helping Cody. Like, I imagine this is a surprise to Cody in many aspects, because he was doing the same thing in AEW and he was getting booed out the arena in his feuds. Now he's getting cheered throughout the entire year. Same music, same entrance, same Cody, same suits, like everything, same type of promos. I just find that really interesting. And I wonder what Tony Khan would say about that. Like if I was able to, if I interviewed Tony Khan, someone take this clip off and tag Tony Khan. Why do you think that Cody Rhodes was getting booed out of the arena in AEW crowds versus getting cheered like crazy in WWE crowds? My guess would be that the WWE, it goes to show that WWE, although a very niche audience still, it does show to me that perhaps WWE does have more of a casual, although they don't really cater to casuals, but I would say that WWE have a more casual crowd than AEW does. To me, it shows AEW don't really care about the casuals. AEW is very hardcore, and that's their audience. That's their target. And the problem with that is that it takes away the ability to really enhance the characters for who they're supposed to be. So those are my thoughts on, sidebar on Cody. But I do think that CM Punk was the person to get basically put on standby. I think he was the standby guy. The more I'm talking this out, the more I'm thinking about this. It seems as if CM Punk was the standby guy because Rock is able to do Mania. If he is, because Rock is able to do Mania, let's say that he is. A lot of people thought that Cody would turn into the standby guy and he'll get his moment, in the sun, basically. But from what I'm seeing, it seems that CM Punk's a standby guy, and they could have done a Punk and Drew match at WrestleMania. Now, because if they did Punk and Drew, it seemed like they would have done Punk and Drew anyways. So from what I'm thinking, like Cody and Seth may have been a thing even before Punk got injured. The more I'm thinking about it, especially with Rock there, and they still want to give Cody his moment. So those are my thoughts on that. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's go to the question count. All righty. PNP Nation, let's go. Right, here we go. Of course, hashtag Ask Doc is the way to go when it comes to asking your questions. Let's start off with the People's Wrestling Channel. Your thoughts on the whole Vince allegation. So, okay, so follow my work across the board. I know that you do, but follow my work across the board. I'm tired of talking to them about that. Like on the Wrestling Outlaws, we talked about that in depth. We just talked about it for nearly 45 minutes on my previous show. Yeah, I mean, like that would be my suggestion. Follow my work, like Zubair following my work there. So thank you very much. And I know that you do, Ricky, but I'm just tired of talking about it, man. The very, very short answer to respect the fact that you asked me a question is they're allegations. That's my thoughts on that. They're allegations, and if they are proven to be true, that's sick. It just goes. It's a sick individual if it's proven to be true. All right. Your thoughts on Brock Lesnar possibly being done with WWE? I mean, let's be honest with you. Let's be honest. At this point, Brock Lesnar is going to be in the Hall of Fame. Brock Lesnar doesn't have much to contribute more in the WWE. I mean, like he just doesn't. I mean, I just don't. I mean, the Gunther thing would have been cool to see, sure, but it's not necessary. I mean, Braun Breaker had a very, very good showing at the Royal Rumble. So, I mean, heck, let's do Gunther Braun. I mean, why not? I mean, so I do think we should get Gunther Seth for SummerSlam. And I think Gunther should beat Seth at SummerSlam and win the World Heavyweight Championship. But I mean, if there's anyone based on his showing at the Royal Rumble, and he's untarnished now. They haven't tarnished his name. They haven't tarnished his credibility on the main roster. I mean, now you bring in Braun Breaker, man, and that would be an opportunity for him to have his shine and dethrone Gunther. I mean, if there's anybody who has the intensity to dethrone Gunther, it would be Braun Breaker. So, I mean, yes, it's more marquee, for Brock Lesnar and Gunther. Sure, Brock Lesnar is an absolute marquee name. But I mean, at the end of the day, man, when you think about it, it's Gunther was probably going to beat Brock. Brock Lesnar's not going to become the Intercontinental Champion. So, Brock wasn't an essential character in the current WWE landscape, to miss or say, oh man, that's huge that he's not going to be a part of WrestleMania. So it's all right. Christopher, I really don't want to see Cody versus Roman part 2 at Mania. You and me both. You and me both do not want to see Cody Roman 2. I definitely don't want to see Cody Roman 2 because it is incredibly predictable. Guess who's going to win that match? Cody is, and I wouldn't want Cody to win that match, honestly. Abs in the building. Zubair's in the building. I can't turn off closed captions on the unscripted show. I can't turn off closed captions on the unscripted show. I'm sure that there's somewhere, some way to do it through YouTube. If not, go on the Facebook. Who would you love? Who would you have said if R-Truth? What would you have said if R-Truth won the Royal Rumble? I would have said, what's up? You did it. You did it, Elvis. It's been a long time. What's up, Dr. Featherstone? What's good, my PNP fam? C-Roy is in the building. What's up, man? It's always good to have you. C-Roy is a P&P OG, man. As far as just this new landscape of PNP over the past few years, he's an OG. Aaron, do you think if TKO and Triple H weren't around, would WWE have shut down or be canceled in this era with all the stories? Well, Triple H would have been around, period. But I don't think so. I think there's a lot of money still in WWE. I mean, like, it's as an entity, it's it's $1 billion entity. So I mean, there's still, it's not just going to dissolve. I mean, it's not financially bankrupt. It is a very, very lucrative company. So if anything, someone would have tried to buy it. I mean, and so, or Stephanie would have came back. I mean, when Vince resigned, Stephanie came back, and then when Vince was like, "Oh, I was just playing," Stephanie said, "Deuces, I'm out. I was just playing too because I'm not coming back. I'm out again." So, Stephanie could have came back and said, "Yeah, so I'll be CEO again." So, and plus you have Nick Khan too. I mean, Nick Khan, he's the president. I mean, Nick Khan is he's the business end. He's the business end of all this. Now, WWE, for a long time was a mom and pop company that was ran by Vince McMahon. Like other than standards and practices and following television, guidelines and protocols, the end all be all was Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And, with the TKO acquisition, he's not the end all be all anymore. And bringing in this order, this chain of command, and this order of management. And Nick Khan's the president, and it would have been a factor of him running the company, and from a business end, Khan is doing his thing, man. It's funny because I sent this to a couple of friends. I should have sent this publicly because it was really interesting, man. I saw a tweet of Nick Khan being on. This had to be. I don't know when it was. It had to be probably in the 80s, early 90s. He was a fledgling lawyer. It was not too far out of college. And he was on Wheel of Fortune, man. And so it was really interesting, man. Like he was, black haired, looked much younger, and it was really interesting as a contestant on Wheel of Fortune. And he was like a fledgling lawyer with who was just making it and just introducing himself to the world of law. Didn't have the bank account that he did now, but hey, man, kudos to him. He's grown up and become a very, very successful businessman. So kudos to Nick Khan for sure. PNP is no place for crazy AEW marks. Yes. Crazy marks, period, I would say. Zubair forgot to mention on the Legion of Raw review, but with Rollins mentioning he's the true champ, shouldn't he want to beat Roman to prove that and that his title matters? Yeah, that it's interesting that he said that. The promo was cool. The promo, because everybody's expecting Cody Roman, and the more I'm paying attention to the nuances, the more I'm thinking in my head, we may get Cody Seth, because for Cody to say, as soon as he won the Royal Rumble, we kept pointing, I want you, I want you. It's like, that's a bit obvious. Like the suspense is like, we know, like, let's wait the next Raw or the next SmackDown to see who the person picks. And the person, so theoretically the person has to pick before Elimination Chamber. So we're going to get a pick before Elimination Chamber. And then the chamber match may be to, for the person, for the number one contender. So, because we already know for Rhea, they're doing the women's chamber. It's for the number one contender for Rhea, which is weird because why would they announce why would they announce rumblings of the number one contendership for the World Heavyweight Championship if Bayley hasn't picked her opponent? Wouldn't that mean that Bayley's going to pick Io Sky? Okay, that doesn't, make it make sense, ladies and gentlemen. Make it make sense. But yeah, I guess in Seth's eyes, Roman Reigns is not the guy, and Roman Reigns failed to make his title reign relevant. I guess that's his logic. Zubair, I know they just split the titles again, but honestly, soon they should have one true world champion. Both shows should do it eventually. Roman's time as champ is done with Rollins and Seth involved. So, I like the World Heavyweight Championship concept, specifically during Roman's title reign, because Roman's title reign, to me, it needed some divine intervention. And I definitely wasn't a fan and haven't been a fan of Roman's title reign. And so, or the latter part of Roman's title reign, the fact that he comes like once every 6 months. So I think, the World Heavyweight Champion, just because I like the World Heavyweight Championship beforehand too, when there was 2 championships, just because I liked the World Heavyweight Championship design. I think the design was fire. I think it was great. There's the big gold belt. I thought it was great. The new one, I slightly like it better than I did in the very beginning. I didn't like it at all in the very beginning. I slightly like it better now, like slightly. I'm still not a big fan of it, but I slightly like it. But I mean, there's 2 brands. I'm okay with the split. It theoretically makes sense to have one championship for 2 brands, but there's way too many people in the roster, man. I mean, like, if you want to honor one champion for 2 brands, man, you got to cut that roster. I think with Seth being hurt, they switched to Seth versus Cody, so Cody can hold Raw down. I can see that too. I mean, I can see because of Seth being hurt, it just seems like they pulled an audible before the Rumble, Punk getting hurt. Like, however they did that, like, it just seems like they pulled an audible. So with Cody beating Seth at Mania, Cody would be the guy to run Raw. So that's what we would see. And that would give Seth an opportunity to really recover from his injury. He is going to compete at WrestleMania. So it definitely seems as if they want Cody to be the guy on Raw, and he would do that, which would make him beat Seth 4 times, man. That's seemingly unprecedented. The Royal Rumble wasn't all that this year. Pat was a wasted spot. Why not give that to Chad Gable or Randy Orton? I still think they want to protect Randy Orton, which I'm fine with. Chad Gable, why? I mean, like, I don't think, my thing is, man, look, unless, they're big on, like, let's give like really, really good showings to people in the Royal Rumble. I mean, you lasted 32 minutes. I mean, like, that doesn't really impress. That's impressive, but that doesn't really up someone's stock the next event. I mean, it really doesn't, man. So I think that stuff like that and moments like that, that's when you bring in a surprise entrant. Because if you think about it, I've said this many times before, if you think about it, there's only, like, for real, like, there's probably less than a handful of talent, less than a handful of wrestlers that's actually going to, like, win the Royal Rumble, like less than 5, if that. And so, like, that's an opportunity to really showcase, to really bring out surprises. Like, if you know that the person isn't going to win the Royal Rumble, don't. I know that you have to have bodies in there, to make eliminations look good, and now I'm cool with that. But, like, give us some. I think you can hear me. I hope you can hear me. Let me know if y'all can still hear me, because I can't hear myself anymore. How about that? Okay, check 1, 2. It's showing that. You can hear me. Let me fix this technical difficulty. It says yes, I can. Yes, y'all can hear me. Okay. Well, that's good. But check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. I can't hear myself anymore, unfortunately. Check. Y'all can hear me still. Okay. I can't hear myself for some odd reason here. But we shall move on. The show must go on, ladies and gentlemen. The show must go on. We're live, pal. We're live. Check. Okay. There we go. Check. There we go. All right. Now I can hear myself again. Very nice. Very nice. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. You gotta love technology. But we're all good now. And y'all can hear me, which is good. Pat was a waste, but yeah, man, like, the longevity factor. Yes, I understand, and I respect that. But man, give me some surprises, man. If you know that the person's not going to win the match, give me some surprises. All right, where are we? Man, there's a lot of really, really good questions here. PNP once again. It looks like y'all making it 3 weeks in a row. Y'all are going in. By the way, I really, really liked the Women's Royal Rumble. It was really, really good. It was one of the best Women's Royal Rumbles since the inception of it. I was a fan of it. Big fan. Well, wouldn't it be funny if they brought back an angry Mr. Backlund to confront Reigns about breaking his streak? That would be funny. And have him get speared. Calling Roman Reigns a plebeian. Plebeian. There you go. Plebian. I believe how you spell plebeian. The current latest on Rock versus Reigns is they're still figuring it out. So I think that's what WWE want. Punk getting injured has really screwed things up. I do feel sorry for him, poor guy. So I don't. Yes. I feel sorry for him. I don't really think it screwed things up, though. I think that Seth's injury kind of threw a wrench in things. Yeah, but I think that they still want Rock Reigns, and that's what they want. So, with that being said, I do think that they are going to do Rock Reigns at Mania. That's what I think, and I think that because they're doing that, they're putting Punk to the side, which again I'm fine with. Priest looks dumb, still not cashing in. Yeah, that's interesting, man. He has until what, July? So I mean, and Priest doesn't even look like a main event. They're not even booking him as a main event star, man. Would you agree the men's Royal Rumble lacked proper storytelling? Roman match. Also, would you agree the 4-way was disappointing? The 4-way is okay. The 4-way was. I mean, you knew the Reigns was going to win, but it was okay. I mean, it wasn't anything exciting to me. Like it was okay. I mean, it did the job. As far as the men's Rumble, yeah. I mean, wasn't any surprises. It was very predictable. Didn't have really much of it. Didn't really have many cool spots to it. I mean, it was just kind of plug and play, man. Honestly, that's how I describe the men's Rumble, plug and play. That's Christian. Axe Doc. Let's see. Here we go. Jamie. I have a feeling that the results from the Elimination Chamber would change up WrestleMania. It would be interesting, if they are going Cody, Reigns and Rock isn't competing. I think you should do Seth Drew, and but I don't think Drew should lose yet another big match. That would be horrible to me. Let's see. Would you agree eventually fans will turn on Cody like every champ for the past few years because he's how fickle fans are? Fans are very fickle, and I've said this plenty of times. I do think that the fans will turn on Cody because to me, it's like he's okay. So I'm thinking in my head, what's making him different than Cena? He's a better athlete. He's not better on the mic. Cody's good on the mic, but he's not better on the mic than Cena. He doesn't have as much charisma as Cena does. He's not a megastar as much as Cena does, but he's a better wrestler than Cena is. Other than that, so if you're comparing the two, what's the difference? Other than Cena's, he has that bigger star power, but what's the difference, man? I mean, and Roman Reigns was winning a bunch of matches initially, and people were getting tired of that, but you know why? Because they didn't have sing-along songs, ladies and gentlemen. They didn't have sing-along songs. Cody does. Did it help Jordynne Grace to be in the Royal Rumble? It helped Jordynne Grace's name. The other question is, does it help TNA? Yes, because I heard that their viewership rose substantially. Since the rebrand, their viewership has rose substantially, and I think that's really cool that a TNA person, Mickie James did it a few years back, but she was like, it was like a verbal contract, but like Jordynne Grace is like a contracted TNA employee, so this is like unprecedented. So kudos to her, but. One thing I was thinking about is this. You can't let the fox in the hen house, so to speak. You can't let the fox in the hen house. Meaning, yes, that was good on paper initially. Yes, that had initial benefits to TNA, but if Jordynne Grace, with this popularity she's having, could she be like more tempted to, not re-sign in TNA because of the hype that she's getting? And I know that there's probably clauses not to dip in TNA's talent, but at the same time, I mean, there's loopholes to that stuff. So could that have been a blow to TNA to be another, recruiting ground for WWE to bring in people? So again, you don't let the fox in the hen house. So I think that the plans for Rock versus Roman, Seth versus Punk, and Cody, Drew, or Gunther. I don't really see Cody Drew. It could have been, but I mean, Cody. Yeah, it just seems like Punk got the standby. I mean, that's what it seems like. Russell votes were on point as always. They said 50% of the people in the Rumble got no reaction to the generic theme songs. Yeah, that's a great point. Very generic theme songs. It's like, man, there's no anticipation and no excitement because you don't know what the theme song is, ladies and gentlemen. Does WWE not cater to casual fans? Not as much anymore. I think wrestling fans are trolls. They laugh at AEW and TNA numbers, but when talent show up, WWE change and cheer talent. It's one of like a lot of fickle fans, a lot of fans nowadays. They're like the people who are like, they'll talk about you in your back and be like, oh my gosh, man, he's so horrible, man. I can't stand the way he looks up all the time. And I can't stand the fact that he always talks that way. And then they see you in person. Hey, what's going on, man? Like, it's so good to see you. That's how fans are fickle, as Daniel Bryan would say, Bryan Danielson. Jay versus Jimmy, possibly, but don't care. Awesome Truth versus Judgment Day. I do see that happening. I had a PMP show about that recently. Sammy versus Drew. No, that's not going to happen because we just saw that on Raw, and we've seen it plenty of times, and it's not going to be a WrestleMania match. Rhea versus Liv versus Jade Cargill. No way. Absolutely. I think it's going to be Rhea versus Becky. Bailey versus Io, yes. Logan Paul versus LA Knight, yes. I do see that. Motivational. Where does Randy Orton and LA Knight go from here? I think Orton. Oh man. Maybe they do Orton AJ. I don't really care about that, but possibly, it would be an interesting feud. I mean, I don't want Lashley to get the tail end of this feud, but it seems like with the Final Testament and the Pride or whatever. But I would be interested in Orton and Cross having a feud for the next couple of months, man. And why not have Cross beat Orton, man? If you're trying to really help Cross have a name, why not, man? Why not Orton Cross and Orton put over Cross? I mean, what else does Orton need to prove? Nothing. And so, I mean, gives Lashley a spot because, I think he's still very, very vital talent in the WWE and very a great asset to the WWE. But I do think that if you want to build Cross, which I don't have an issue with, I think at the end of the day is have him go over Orton. Also, lastly, it's Street Profits versus Cross and LP. Yeah, sure, maybe. Cody Rhodes versus Seth Part 3 or Part 4. WrestleMania better than Gunther versus Rollins 1 with the title at WrestleMania. I give Gunther a little bit don't make it feel rushed. My thing is don't make it feel rushed. I think you give an opportunity for someone to win the Intercontinental Championship because I think that there's money in the fact that he's had the title for 600 days or so. And give that person that moment, that spot. So you can do two things at once. You can have the person dethrone Gunther, get that spot, let that sit, and let's be on that for a little bit. And then you could have Gunther work his way up to Seth. I think you do Gunther Seth at SummerSlam. I think that should be a main event match because everything's going to be shrouded by Rock Roman if that's the case. So don't shroud Gunther's first world title match at probably night 1 and world title win. It's going to be shrouded by night 2. Give him his moment. Give him his time. Let that main event SummerSlam and let Gunther beat Seth. Leon, what do you think of Seth versus Drew versus Jay at Mania? With the winner getting cast in by Damian? No. I mean, I like Jay in a world title match. I like that idea, but it's just ugh. Now, Damian Cashin, I don't oppose either because I said that. I think it would be interesting if you do the tag match in the beginning, Awesome Truth beats Judgment Day, and then you have Damian Cash at the end. But, Drew once again getting the shaft, another match, I was like, no. How'd you get your job at Sports Kid, especially as a content creator there? Again, love the duo of you and Russo and guests like EC3 Road Dogg, etc. Good question. I got a job at Sports Kita. Man, I don't even remember what year that was when I started writing for Sports Kita. Maybe 2016, 15 or something like that. I was writing for Wrestling Inc. at the time. I was at Wrestling Inc. for about 6 years. And they loved my work, and they asked if I can come over to Sportskeeda. They offered me more money, and I said sure. And so I went over to Sportskeeda, and then Wrestling Inc. Kind of countered, and so I went back to Wrestling Inc. It was there for a bit, and so yeah, I mean they were trying to. I was a hot commodity in the world of the pro wrestling journalism. So, and then I was doing PNP. I've been doing PNP, and every week I would have half-hour interviews. The first half hour would be interviews, and so yeah. So, and then Riju, he ended up taking over as assistant manager for content. Now he's manager, I believe. And so, because he was just a writer when I was there initially. And he was like, man, I love your work. I love your work at PNP. And you mind us featuring your half-hour interviews in the beginning of our show? And that really sparked a lot of the formatting of the live program. That's the reason why I'm the anchor of most of the shows. I'm the anchor of Legion of Raw. I created that show. They wanted a post-Raw show, so they came to me about it. And initially I picked Animal, and then I picked Vince Russo. That started from Unscripted. I came up with the name Unscripted as well, and I brought it over to Sportskeeda, and then they loved Unscripted, and then they offered me another position, another job, another spot to do Legion of Raw, and they loved both of them. And then they were like, man, we really like you and Russo together, and so let's have a show dedicated to him, because Legion of Raw is dedicated to the Road Warrior Animal, and I wanted to keep that name in honor of him. And so they're like, well, let's just have a show for Russo, where we just kind of fantasy book. And so that's what we did. That was writing with Russo. And then that led to those three shows being going very well. And then they asked me to do a fourth show, which had all the guests. And now we've landed on EC3 as the third, third person of the trio for the Wrestling Outlaws. So that's the short version of how that all came about and how it is now. All right, let me zoom through these again, because we got to head over to the after party. Would WWE continue if right now women like Janelle Grant brought similar salacious allegations against Nick Khan and our Triple H? Yes, I do. I think WWE will continue. I think it'll just be sold. Again, I think it's a very lucrative entity right now. I think that it would just be a change of management, but I don't think the WWE will dissolve. If the leadership is bad, they'll just change the new leadership. From a business standpoint, the WWE corporation is a lucrative corporation that someone would love to acquire. So, I mean, that's what Ari Emanuel did. So now it'll just dissolve more into Endeavor. If the WWE leadership is cray, they'll just take Endeavor, just take over more, or be open to sell it to somebody. What would you say to Cody choosing Reigns disrespects the world heavyweight title? No, I wouldn't say that. JS, do you think it's weird that Seth is telling Cody to listen to his heart? It's lame and childish. Yeah, that's an interesting listen to your heart. Sure. Yeah, sure. Would you agree they should get rid of the Chamber pay-per-view? No point if the world title is not defended, and rather the match be used anytime when it calls, which they brought back No Way Out. Yeah, I agree. The No Way Out. I was a big fan of No Way Out. Give stipulation pay-per-views, man. I'm just not a big fan of. Period. I mean, for a while, wasn't a big fan of Money in the Bank being a standalone. It's kind of became like a fifth major pay-per-view in a sense, just because of stakes. But yeah. Just stipulation pay-per-views I can do without. Do you see TNA being a part of the Do you see TNA being part of the WrestleMania Battle Royal? Is there a WrestleMania Battle Royal on? Oh, that's a good question. Okay, the WrestleMania Battle Royal that they usually have right before WrestleMania. No, I don't see that. No. Longevity in the Rumble is overrated because someone who's in it for say half hour will lay on the mat and corner half of it. Yep, absolutely. They'll just sit there. I've been here for 30 minutes, but about 20 of it, I had a really, really good break. Jay Cargill looking like a star. I agree. I think she looked phenomenal. I think she looked great. I would want her and Bianca to win the women's tag team championships. That's what I think they should do. I think they should do Shayna and Zoe, Chelsea and Piper, the champions, which are Kabuki Warriors, and Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. And I think they should do a 4-way women's tag team championship match. And I think that Jade and Bianca Belair should win. About 6 months to a year ago, you wanted Montez Ford to win the 2024 Royal Rumble to beat Seth Rollins for World Title Mania. It seemed possible at the time. What happened and what's next? What happened was typical WWE. We have way too many people, and we're going to just put somebody that we're safe with in the front. I'm still pro Montez Ford, man. I think he's money. Angelo Dawkins, where does that leave him? Oops, but I said this before, man. I don't necessarily think that you need to break up the Street Profits for one of them to have a singles run, just like Kofi. Yes, that was a trio, but yeah, now he's in a trio. Why not have him, win the Royal Rumble? I think he's money. I agree with you. Jade and Bianca team up and win the division. They have Jade turn heel on Bianca and have a dream match. Beautiful, strong, athletic woman, may even year's women's title. I'll be game for Jade turning heel on Bianca and Bianca getting the comeuppance, but down the line though, like way down the line, not sudden, but way down the line. I think they should. If there's any team that could make the women's tag team championships relevant, it would be Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. I thought it was going to be Cody and Punk winning the Rumble, and both would face each other, Seth and Mania. Oh, yeah, people were saying like that kind of 94 finish. I wasn't interested in that. Should or can the WWE hold off Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill for the Women's Championship of the Women's World Championship of Night 1 WrestleMania main event at WrestleMania 41? It depends on Jade Cargill's athletic ability at the time. I mean, she's still got some work to go. She looked a lot quicker and a lot more polished. How she was doing the super kicks and stuff, how she looked a lot more polished, and I noticed that, and I like that. Don't rush it though. I said this before. Don't rush it. Give her some time. She's only been wrestling a few years. Like let's not forget about that. She's been wrestling a few years, so give her some time. 600 days has been champion. Good stuff. We watched the commercial tease for Montez and Bianca's reality TV show. Ford says something that makes you feel that he's happy for his wife, but he's not happy with his own situation. I mean, that makes sense to me. I mean, I can. That's what it seems like. He's kind of like at a dead zone at this point. So now, no Rollins, Reigns, Punk, Rock, or Gunther elimination chambers. So why should people get up at 5 a.m. to watch it? I won't. I won't get up at 5 a.m. and watch it. I would definitely watch it on demand. WWE should have had King, Mo, and the Rumble. Sure. Okay. I still think Jay should be someone's muscle. Yeah, I mean, I that was something I promoted, being someone's muscle, but her Rumble story was really good, man. So I mean, kudos to her. So cool. All right, y'all. We head into the after party, man. We don't have much time, but these questions were awesome. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. Once again, a very, very successful, awesome episode of Pancakes and Power Slams. We are heading over to the after party. Patreon.com/Pancakes and Power Slams. We are going to quickly answer questions, and we're going to be sure to we're going to have some fun, y'all. We're going to see if we remember every single Royal Rumble winner. I think I can do it. By the way, last week was successful. I was able, and the people who are with me were able to successfully get all of the WCW champions. I named most of them, and we were stuck for a few minutes on the last one. I was like, Brett. That's what, or should I say, Brett? Just like the kid. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Chris. I'll be at the after party. Until next time, enjoy your Wicked Wrestling. God bless. And always remember, I do it for you. Have a good night, everybody. So long.